This is an extract from the Leader Coronavirus Daily podcast by the Evening Standard and hosted by me, David Marsland. To hear the whole thing, search for it on your podcast provider. Hitting 100 years old is always an occasion, but few enjoy something like a Spitfire flypast of their home. Tom Moore, though, is exceptional in many ways. He became a household name with his attempt to raise £1,000 for the NHS by walking laps of his garden. On the day of his birthday, that total has hit £30 million. And he's had a promotion too, as our editorial column delights in supporting.
Captain Tom Moore has been promoted to Colonel Tom to mark his 100th birthday today. He's lifted the nation in tough times. The honour could not be more deserved.
It was absolutely amazing. I was never expecting anything like that, but really it is a great honour, and now I'm Colonel for at least for a minute or two.
Colonel Tom Moore talking to Chris Evans on Virgin Radio there. The Evening Standard's Lizzie Edmunds is with me now over Zoom. And Lizzie, Tom Moore's had a bit of a journey through this crisis, hasn't he?
He has indeed. I mean, just a few weeks ago, he was a very normal 99-year-old war veteran in a lovely home in Bedfordshire. And now he's possibly one of the most famous men in the country, if not the world. He's very much captured the hearts and the imagination and the kind of the spirit, I guess, of people at the moment during the lockdown. I mean, I think him and his family, who appear regularly now on the TV, kind of say they're the most surprised. He went from, something that was supposed to be just a little challenge for him walking up and down his garden to make some money for the NHS and for our frontline workers. He's now raised 30 million as of this morning. He's recorded a hit single with his idol, Michael Bull, which has gone to number 1, making him the first 100-year-old man or woman to be top of the charts. And he's now an honorary colonel. He's had a fly past today, with the Hurricane and the Spitfire, which is incredible and a real honour. And he's an honorary member of the English cricket team because he's a big cricket fan. So quite a few weeks for Colonel or Captain Tom, as he's most fondly known.
He was a famous man on Main Street in every town across the state. And when the drummer played that downbeat, well, they would dance the night away.
Why has the country taken him so much into our hearts?
I think because he is just proof of what can be achieved when we all come together and when we put our minds and heart into something. I mean, the situation we'll find ourselves in now is pretty bleak for a lot of people, and he kind of proves that some days you just got to get up and try your best and do something good for other people. And also, we all back him, He's someone who's fought for his country before, and now he's helping the people who are fighting on the front line, saving their country again. He's just, the epitome, I guess, of British strength and solidarity and coming together and working together at times that are not ideal for a lot of people.
He does have a remarkable attitude, actually. And when they had that Spitfire fly past near his home today, he was talking about that, wasn't he, and his own experiences of that and how he's kind of got to where he is today.
Yeah, exactly. So today, about 8 o'clock this morning, he was sat outside his home in Bedfordshire, and a Spitfire and a Hurricane were flown past by RAF pilots from Coningsby in Lincolnshire. He was there waving and smiling and looking quite visibly moved by it.
So Tom, if you just look straight ahead there.
Oh yes, you see them.
They're both utterly beautiful to fly, and I'll let everybody listen now to the lovely sound of the Hurricane and Spitfire.
And he said something that was quite nice and quite apt, I guess. It said, I'm one of the few people that have seen Spitfires flying ahead in anger now, because obviously there's not many veterans left. And today they were flying peacefully, and he remembers when they were flying not with peace but with anger. And I suppose, again, next week is VE Day, and remembrance is always such an important thing for us as a country. And it's just an interesting sentiment there to be looking back and reflecting on something that was giving him so much joy, but that a few decades ago was a very different and very stark circumstance.
And as you mentioned at the start there, he has been given this promotion at the age of 100 years old. He is now an honorary colonel. There have been a lot of calls for him to be given more awards by the country also. Is there a knighthood, do you think?
Yes, there has been calls, I think, since he broke the £1 million mark, which seems like a long time ago, for him to be Sir Tom. I think on BBC Breakfast this morning, which I was watching, someone slipped that in as well, called him Sir Tom. I mean, it would be lovely for him, wouldn't it? And I would be very surprised if it doesn't happen. I mean, he's someone that, if you're thinking about the coronavirus pandemic and people who have come out of it and figures, you know, there's been people who have done lots of amazing things, and there's many, many people on the front line doing amazing things. But as someone who kind of is emblematic of what we're going through at the moment, it would make a huge amount of sense for him to be Sir Tom. And he'd be thrilled. He'd be absolutely thrilled, I'm sure, as would his family, as would the nation. So, yeah, why not?
Happy birthday, Colonel Tom Moore, from everyone at the Evening Standard. Search for the Leader Coronavirus Daily on any podcast provider to hear more from the podcast.